Hi guys, I am John Carrick, author of Legacy of a Mad Scientist and The Legend of Ashley Fox. Today we have 100 Bullets 42, The Life and Times of Wylie Times. And first we have World Fantasy Tarot Temperance, the Sea Nymph. She sort of makes an appearance in this one, except she's way out in the desert with a fat Uncle Adolf. Wait till you see this. So let me get this out of the way. Wylie Times. This is his introductory story, his introductory comic. Flies on the door handle. Now, I don't know if they're from this greasy old bastard or if they're from Wylie himself. Wylie's not in a much better state. This is sort of a lost highway, that sort of David Lynch, not sort of, that David Lynch film with William Dafoe where there's a whole bunch of freaks living out in the desert. I don't know if you've been out to the desert, but there's a lot of freaks living out there. They seem to congregate in that part of the world. I'm not going to try and tell you why, but they do. So this guy's knocking on Wylie's door. Wylie, where's the rent, bitch? I fucking told you. And Wylie is like, well, I ain't got it on me. He pushes the door open. Wylie ain't got anything on but socks. He's like, look, I told you got to have the rent before the week. He's like, this is a by the week place and he wants it up front. And Wylie is 3 weeks late. And he says, you want me to tell your boss to garner your wages? Wylie's like, you can't do that. Yes, I can. He's my brother. So, in addition to being out in the desert where they're all meth heads, they're also all inbred and related, which is hilarious. This is really funny. Again, the dialogue is great. It's brief, but it's great. Wylie gets another knock on the door, but this time it's Agent Graves. And he's got a briefcase for Mr. Times. It's a good name. Eduardo Risso's good with the names. And Brian Azzarello is a master with the art. Look at the work he did on the blankets. I should back up because these pages deserve more time. Look at all the trees. I love the sickly yellow tint that the desert has. Even the sky. Everything reflects the sun-bleached sand. And everyone keeps their rooms dark. Wylie, of course, lives like a slob because he's in his studio apartment that he's renting by the week. He's essentially a drunk, but he's not an unhappy drunk. If I were a drunk, I suppose I would be a little bit like Wylie Times. But I'm not. I'm too much of a psychopath for that. And Agent Graves knocks on the door. Excuse me, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. I don't know who this switch is from the Matrix. I don't care. Apparently for some video game. And Agent Graves pushes his way in and says, and Wylie's asking him if he's got a golden ticket, one of those giant checks. Wylie asks if he's got a giant check. He says it's a golden opportunity. Does it have a silver lining? If it doesn't have a silver lining, you can keep it. No, I can't. It belongs to you. So we know what's in the case, right? Wylie goes digging under the bed for a beer and throws the case Graves throws the case onto the bed. It hasn't landed yet because that's where the shadow's at. Wylie's getting dressed. He's not really interested. Stash of porn mags. He looks in the case, sees the gun and the bullets, and Graves explains. 100 rounds of untraceable ammunition, untraceable gun. He uses the words carte blanche, and of course Wylie doesn't know what that means. It means you can kill anyone and get away with it. And there's a photo in the briefcase of the person responsible for your life being such a mess. And Wylie says, well, if it's not my landlord or my boss, then it's got to be me. Because they're the only two problems in my life right now. I love his perspective. I love everything about Wylie. He doesn't take anything too seriously because nothing's that serious. When you're living in the desert and you don't have any money, when you've got nothing to lose, really you're unmanipulatable. No one can. You either have to be rich or be super poor to be free. Everyone in the middle can be jerked around and manipulated by the other people in their lives, by the things they think they own, their cars, their houses, their property, their place in the rat race. All you have to do is sit on the sidelines and start throwing rocks at people, and life becomes a lot more fun. It really does. Or do your own thing. Make your own race. That's what I'm doing, and I'm so happy. So, yeah, the conversation continues. I think Wylie tucks the briefcase under the bed. Yeah, puts the briefcase under the bed, leaves Graves in the apartment, and walks out. I gotta go to work. That's essentially what he says. This is actually good dialogue. He says, in that briefcase is a picture of the man who ruined your life. And all you have to do is take a look and you'll see that it's true. Is it Norm? Who? The turd who owns this toilet. Great line. No. Is it his squirt of a brother? No. Then I ain't got no beef with them. As a matter of fact, why don't you go put a bullet in him yourself? And he just leaves Graves standing there. So he goes to work at the local filling station, which is probably right next door or across the street. Probably next door. Probably not even across the street. And he and Arn are having this conversation about why Wylie is worthless and he can't get him to do anything. It's a self-serve gas station, so he doesn't get that much practice on pumping gas for people. All he does is work the register, and this guy's like the local mechanic. And he wants to teach Wylie how to work on cars, but Wylie says, you ain't going to pay me to train me, so then you're just getting me to work for free. He doesn't want to do that. And clearly, what he's spending his money on is beer out of the fridge. You know, there's nothing else to spend the money on. So, Fat Adolf shows up, and his girlfriend with a busted eye. He asks if there's a ladies' room. They direct him to the restroom. She goes in there to freshen up, while Adolf starts talking smack to Arn and Wylie. He, for some reason, decides to take Wylie's side and asks him how much he makes. Wylie's like $6 an hour. He does some quick math. That ain't much. He says, that ain't bad. And Arn says, that's what I'd say. It ain't bad. Should I give him my keys? Like he's going to hire him? He says, it's not that it ain't bad. It's criminal is what it is. Can't make enough to get by with that. She comes out of the restroom and says it's overflowing. And of course, this, Fat Adolf starts talking smack about, well, it's because you flushed too goddamn much toilet paper and paper towels down there. Of course it's going to overflow. Now, okay, so if you didn't notice it in the first panel that the girl has a black eye, the next few panels, it's hidden. You don't get to see it again until she comes out of the restroom. Here they're standing there, hair's in her face. Boy, this sure is accurate, ain't it? I played the shit out of this game. It was pretty good. He goes into the restroom because it's overflowing. He's going to kill me. She's written on the mirror in lipstick. That is a turn. That is what a story is made of. Stories are rescue porn. And Wylie now has to make a decision. Is he going to rescue this girl? What is he going to do? Hair over the eye, hair over the eye, hair over the eye. Angle, you don't get to see it. Meanwhile, Fat Adolf has picked a fight with Arn for no good reason, just to talk shit to him. And says he knows him, you're all the same. Exploiting the working man, that sort of dialogue. Which all bosses do, it's the only way they can make a living. And while Wylie's out pumping the gas, he lets the air out of the tire thinking he's clever, that they'll have to, hang around for a minute or get only a short distance down the street and that will be it. But meanwhile, inside, Adolf has shot Arn in the chest or in the stomach. He pretends like he's doing Wylie a favor. In truth, he's just robbing the place for what? $50? Whatever's in the till, 120 maybe. Steps back there and empties out the register. Here's the first time we get a really good look at that eye. Apparently he's throwing some of this money on the counter for Wylie too. Fat Adolf. Not a good guy. Not the uncle you wanted. Not the uncle you remember. Not the uncle we all want back. He punches Wylie in the stomach for making some smart-ass comment and says, yeah, your breath smells like shit. Shit's supposed to... You're supposed to give shit, not take it. And he talks to Wylie about getting bent over, getting screwed over, until that's all they do to you. Blah, blah, blah. Sort of a prison speech. Right here, he looks like one of those sort of Southern actors, again, that I can't remember, more so than Adolf, but that hair to the side and that mustache, that's Fat Adolf. It ain't anybody else. Wylie's suffering from a collapsed diaphragm, and he just might kill him too, except she blasts him in the head with the coffee pot. She has had enough. Then she picks up the gun and empties it into his fat ass. Now look, I love Adolf Hitler, but this version of him, this multiverse version, is getting exactly what he deserves. He is dead. And now Arn is dying. The money's still on the countertop, and Wylie tells him, you'll be okay, just hang in there. And then Arn asks about that son of a bitch who killed me. No, he's not okay. Hey, how about that raise? Little late to make it on prayers now, Arn. What, you mean you lied to me? I'm not going to make it? No, you're not. That escalated quickly. Now, I don't know how much later this is or how far away this is. I'm presuming the girl took the car and bailed, or she sat there and cried about it. I hope she took the car and bailed, because Wylie took the money and went out and got himself a case of beer, or, beer and some chips. When he gets back to the motel, Graves is waiting with the briefcase. And now is as good a time as any for Wylie to get the hell out of town. Roadrunner in the desert. Graves shows him the briefcase. His name is Shepard. So Wylie was a Minuteman, and it's been MK Ultra'd, and this split personality doesn't remember all the things these guys did to him. I know I went through this one pretty quick today. It was a lot of fun. I liked it. And you see the girl with the black eye is the sea nymph who rose up against the desert and put the fat Adolf down. It's just kind of too bad. Today's conflicted deck 4 card is the 9 of diamonds, and I'm going to read this to you guys. This one's all right. During a routine scouting, it should be during a routine scouting patrol, scouting trip. During a routine scouting, one of Morgan's men spotted hostile forces near his camp. They appeared to be setting up for long-term stay. They appeared to be setting up for a long-term stay, it should say. There was no sign they knew about Morgan's group already set up nearby. If you were Morgan, would you plan an attack or wait for the hostile camp to do the first move? To make the first move? God damn, these fucking English is a second language motherfuckers. Get out of my culture, you bitches. During a routine scouting patrol, one of Morgan's men spotted hostile forces near the camp. Not his camp. They appeared to be setting up for a long-term stay. There was no sign they knew about Morgan's group, who had already set up nearby. There was no who in that sentence. If you were Morgan, would you plan an attack or wait for the hostile camp to make the first move? Fucking pisses me off when these assholes can't get English right. Okay, so first off, how do you know they're hostile? You're presuming that they're hostile because they're better armed, they're more tactical, they're probably tougher than your group. Who says they're hostile? Fucking make friends with people, you dumb bitches. You don't have to attack everyone. Now, if they prove to be hostile, then you have to take action. But if you treat everyone like they're an enemy, then that's a different... Then why write this card? Then you would say, okay, there's a camp nearby. What strategy and tactics would you undertake to eliminate them? If that's what you're going to do. This card presumes too much and it's written by an idiot. So that's going to be it for today. My eye is still swollen and the inside of it is really bloody. It looks terrible. I can't see out of it. It's probably going to be a couple weeks before I'm back on camera, but I will get these done every day, sooner or later. Some of them might be later than others. Some of them might be earlier than others. No promises, except that I will do one a day. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.